and nations. So we see teeming waters with living creatures. The giving of the Holy Spirit came on Pentecost. And on the sixth day, the beast, the animals, and man were created. And the sixth millennium, that is what we're living in today. If not, it's over. It's fulfilled. Because the Antichrist, the beast, is about to be revealed. And it bears the number of man, 666. So all of the days of creation all prophesied to the sixth millennium of the human history. Amazing how a day and 1,000 days, literal. But let me go further. So what year will the sixth millennium end? When is the seventh millennium? Because the seventh day, or the seventh millennium, is the Lord's Day. And you know what is the Lord's Day? God rested. That means everything else changed. And that is the expected return of Yeshua HaMessiah. So here's a summary of it, but the exact date of the first coming of the Lord was known to the wise men of the East. They knew when He was coming, when He was born. Jesus said, watch and pray. The angel said to Daniel, go your way until the time of the end, then it will be revealed, such as today. There will be an unsealing of mysteries in the time of the end. We're living in it, and mysteries are being unsealed before our eyes. And this calls for wisdom that the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast. We are encouraged to count, to calculate. So that's what I did. I calculated. So I used an Excel program, and this is what I got. Adam lived 130 years, and then he bore a son, Sept. In his own likeness of the image he called him Sept. So we know that after 130 years, he bore the son Sept. So we know that this is now 130 years from day one of creation. Okay, so we have a year, 130 years. So in his 130th year, so I put down 129.5, somewhere in the middle, average. And then it says, and Sept lived 105 years and begot Enos, then he bore Enos. You know why all of these things are in the Bible? And you wonder why is that? It's boring reading, but now I get excited because I can put it in this Excel spreadsheet. So he was 105, so I put 104.5. Average, he was there. Then he bore his son, Enos. Okay, you're following? Then Enos lived 90 years, so 89.5, and begot Cainan. So now the world is 323 years and a half old when Enos was born. Then he bore Cainan, and he lived 90 years. Okay, and then Cainan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel, so 69.5, 70 years. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. You see, the chronology of the Bible is so accurate that you can trace all these things down. And let me just go fast forward. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So he was 549.5. So if you keep accumulating these years, we know that Noah's time is now 1,551 years old. You following? So this is getting exciting for me. Then I keep doing 34.5, lived 5 to 30 years and begot Salah. I'll post this on the website, download this spreadsheet, and you review this one by one. I reviewed it one by one, and so on and so forth. So now, at the time of Nahor, we're 1,867 years. So I just keep adding, if it's 9 and 20 years, so that's 29 years, so it's 28.5. And Terah lived 70 years. This is the tricky part. But Abraham departed as the Lord spoke to him. Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years, and he departed out of Haran. So from 75 years old, and from 130 years old, so that brings us to 129.5. Review that for me, please. So now the world is 1,996.5 in Abraham's time. And then Abraham departed, the Lord spoke to him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he did that, so 75, 74.5. Keep averaging. And now the sojourning of Israel will go in Egypt, so from the time of Abraham came, was 430 years. All of these numbers are coming out from the Word of God. And now the world is 2,501 years old. You following? Yes. And then so on, the reign of the kings. So accurate again with all the dates. And 480th year after the children of Israel will count up the land. So it came to pass The 4th year of Solomon's reign, so 479.5, 480 years. Solomon temples began. And the time of Solomon's reign, another 36 years. Israel was 40 years. By the time Solomon reigned over all Israel was 40 years. Minus, I think I did something, but review that for me. I will post this. And then brings us down to Asa's rule was 40 and 1 year, so it's 40.5. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old, and he reigned 20 and 5 years in Jerusalem, 24.5. And down the line, and Jeroboam and all these rules of the kings of Israel. I don't want to bore you. I got one more sheet, no, two more sheets. So just keep following. And I'm down here. Josiah, Joash, Joachim, and then Zedekiah was the last until Babylon invaded Israel on the year 585. So Zedekiah was 3,400 years old. The earth was from day one of creation. So Babylon invasion was 585. We know that in history. So you add 585 to that is 3,985 years old when Babylon invaded. You follow it? So today is 2015. So you add 2015 to 3985, where we last. That was until 1 BC, because 585 BC until 180 was 585 years. So we know that we're now back to 0 and 1. So you add 2015 to that. 3985, 5 plus 5 equals 10. Oh, carry 1. 8 plus 1 is 9 plus 1, 10. Carry 1. 9 plus carry 1 is 10. Carry 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1. 2015 is exactly 6,000 years since day 1 of creation. I don't know how. I almost fell off my seat when I had some, but hold on. And it came out 6,000 years. For a day of the Lord is 1,000 years, 1,000 years of the Lord is a day. So we're right smack at the year. Since day 1 of creation, 6,000 years. Happy 6,000 year earth. This year. So, we need to align. September 23, 2015, why we placed that? Because God says count, starting on the 7th, on the 10th day of the 7th month. So that's why it brings us to the Day of Atonement, 23rd, 2015, which is the end of that year, 2015. Which happens to be also 5775, God's calendar, which is a Smita year, which also begins a jubilee of jubilees, and so on and so forth. So many things align. And thou shalt number the Sabbaths of the years, 7 times 7 years. And then he says, and thou shalt cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month of the Day of Atonement. Shall make the trumpet sound through all the land. And he shall hallow the 50th year to proclaim liberty. So it says, thou shalt number 7, and then it says, that particular day you number. So the count begins on the 10th day of the 7th month of God. So the 23rd of September is the conjunction of God's calendar. So let me just lead you to some world events. This guy is a French minister who went to this conference on global climate change. And they made an announcement which so many times, and he started making statements. And he made a statement together with Kerry, and this was on the 13th of May, a very important issue of climate change, climate chaos. The foreign minister said, and we have, as I said, this is what he said, we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. And I know that President Obama and John Kerry himself are committed to this subject, and I'm sure that with them, with a lot of other friends, we shall be able to reach success in a very important role. Why call it climate chaos? What is 500 days from May 13? And so, spreadsheet again. I put down May 13 because I want to count 500 days. When you put down May 13, there's a numeric value of the day. You know that in Excel? You format the cell, not as a date, but as a numeric value, and a date entered on that cell will give you a number. And May 13, 2014 gives me the numeric value 41772. You add 500 days, will give you 42272. And then you convert that into a date, and it says September 25, 2015. Climate chaos. And we have, as I said, 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Not only that, he mentioned we are at the edge of a climatic abyss. Why use that word? That's a heavy word. Do they know something that we don't know? They seem to know something. Where are my friends? You're familiar with that, all right? Here's a man standing, and here is that thing that goes around 30 kilometers, 30 miles, 30 kilometers around underground. Inside this, they're going to shoot protons, and they're going to get the protons to hit each other so that it will explode, and they will capture whatever happens there, and they want to cast a particular substance which they are seeking, because that will show them what it is in the beginning of creation. They call it the particle, or the dark matter, or God particle. But I think there's more to it than that. Because I learned today, there are actually many more CERNs out there. This is not the only one. There are many already operational. But nonetheless, this is CERN, and we know about it. And I'll give you a little bit more about what CERN is about. Outside CERN is something shocking. When you enter the facility in Switzerland, you will be met with this woman, symbolizing, kind of very familiar with what's going on inside. This is the statue of Shiva, the god of destruction, and which is outside CERN. Why would a so-called scientific establishment spend many thousands of dollars creating such a thing and put lights around it to make sure that you can see it at all times? They're causing attention to that goddess of Shiva as you enter CERN facility. What is the goddess of Shiva? They're also proclaiming CERN, this is their website, 2015, the International Year of the Light. And finally, this year's research night will be celebrated on the 25th of September, about 2 days after Yom Kippur. The laboratory we know as CERN was born in 1952, but CERN is an acronym for Conseil Européen pour la Recherche Nucléaire, European Council for Nuclear Research, CERN. Actually, that name has been changed. In 1954, they changed the name to Organisation Européenne pour le Nucléaire. But oddly enough, they did not change the name CERN. So why did the founders change the acronym? According to this guy, the head of the organization understood quite well what the quantum physics implied for humanity, inherent within the theoretical realm, like that below potential. This is the secret knowledge, the scientific imperative informed and driven by spiritual advisors that the Bible cites as the key to opening a gateway for the gods. And he says, Baba Alu, the opening of the zoo, the doorway to hell. This is his very words. And he says, that have known it, CERN is an abbreviation for the ancient god worshipped by the Celtics called Sept. Sept is a god. The name's horned one, as this third image appears as far as forms wearing side horns. You see, this is Cernunnos for CERN. Controls the world, the moon gods together with Shiva. Okay? He has a relationship similar to Shiva and Kali. The important point make it that Shiva statue is welcome to visitor research important. And look at some of the pictures of this horn god, and look at that circle, and where it is today. So the Large Hadron Collider is a second attempt already. They already had some facilities in the United States of America. It cost them $3 billion. But they destroyed it. Actually, it's 3.3 times larger than CERN today. But they had to, they just stopped the funding, and they just want to move it to CERN, to Switzerland. And this is what we are saying. They are digging in the wrong place because it's all about location, location, location. What's in the location? What's in Switzerland? Well, there are, of course, no coincidence. Why would anyone put a religious statue of a Hindu god in the place of science? The town of the Large Hadron Collider complex is situated in St. Denis, Powys, which is in the Roman times called Apollyakum.